Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Completed, no? I mean, there are few set of questions. I will be sharing that for you. And what you can do is you can come back to me if you find any question that needs an explanation. Okay. I will also share around 30 questions. Come back to me and ask me if there is any explanation required. We will discuss that as well deeply, right? So today the topic is, and this is also most popular interview question, internal working of HashMap, and we will also discuss about copy constructor. So you know already what is an HashMap, right? Okay, and usually they don't ask you what is an HashMap. They ask you, how HashMap works internally, right? So what comes to your mind when I say HashMap? What are the points that comes to your mind when I say HashMap? I mean, as per your understanding, what are the points you can give when it comes to
We
HashMap?
give key value pairs.
Okay, key value pair. Okay, this is one of the major points. The data will be shown in the form of key value. What is the second thing? I mean, for map, what comes to your mind? For a map.
No insertion order will be
Okay,
followed.
insertion order is not reserved. Good. Insertion order is not reserved. What is the third point?
Red black tree, sir.
No,
Data
no.
structure.
You are missing the major point. The major point is that duplicates are not allowed. Duplicate keys are not allowed.
Yes.
That is the main purpose of HashMap. What is the main purpose of HashMap? Duplicate keys are not allowed. So you can store the unique keys. Duplicate keys are not allowed. Duplicate values are allowed, but keys is not allowed. Duplicate keys are not allowed. Okay. And another point that you can say, you can specify is that for the searching operation, right? Searching operation. Okay, sir. When it comes to searching for a particular key. Okay. The time complexity is on an average it's O of 1. You know this, what is time complexity? On an average,
Yes, sir.
it is going to give you the search on an average. This time complexity is what? O of 1. That is the reason why HashMap is very popular to store the data in the form of keys. Okay. Why it is O of 1 and what is happening behind the scenes, we will understand that. Let me ask you one more question. What is the default size of HashMap? Whenever I create an object of an HashMap,
16, sir.
16, right? So it means when I say HashMap, let us say country is equal to new HashMap. Definitely, an array of 16 will be created, right? Internally, what happens? A huge array will be created, right? And the size of this array is going to be how much? 16. I think you remember this, huh? Let me draw this once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we will understand how the HashMap works internally. For that, I need an array for the visualization. So I'm just creating. Give me a minute. Okay. Right. One more box is required. 16th box. Right. So let us jump into the explanation. So when I say, see, HashMap. Okay, for now I am assuming that we are going to store the key and value. The key is a string and the value is a string. So let me import this HashMap. Okay. So I just want to store the country and their capitals. Okay. The moment I start doing this, an array of size 16 will be created. So this is what happened behind the scenes, and this array is going to be assigned with the variable countries, right? 16, what we call it as 16 buckets. So we call it as a bucket. I will tell you why you call it as a bucket. Secondly, right, the moment you start adding, let me say countries dot, what is the method in the map, to add the key values?
Put, sir.
Put method, no? Put. So when I say the country, like, let me say USA is the country, the capital of USA is Washington DC, right? So let me add few more countries. Countries dot put, okay, and India, and the capital is New Delhi, right? Countries dot put. Let me say Russia. The capital is Moscow. Okay. Countries dot put. Egypt. The capital of Egypt is let me say Cairo. Okay. For each and every put operation, if you go by the points, okay, it says, look at the points. Internal working of HashMap. HashMap stores data in an array of buckets. This is fine. Secondly, each buckets contain a node, key value, hash, and next. This is fine. Internally, it follows a mechanism which is called as what? The hashing mechanism. So this is where, this is where we have to understand. What is it? Internally, it uses a mechanism called hashing mechanism. Right? So what is an hashing mechanism? Right? For every key inside a map, the moment you start adding the key, right? Okay, the key gets internally converted to what? The hash code. Okay, and this hash code will be getting a modular operation. Okay, after the modular operation, you get an what? You get an unique index number. I'll tell you what is it. So what is the first key that I'm talking about? Look at the code. Okay, let me comment the remaining one. Okay, so what is the key that I'm talking about? USA is the key, no? Internally, what happens is the Java is going to, get the hash code for the country USA. I'm talking about internal things. This key will be converted to what? Converted to an hash code. Right? So you got an hash code like something like 84323. This is a very big number. So you cannot consider this number to be an index, because as per the indexing, the index numbers are starting from 0 to 15. I mean, there are 16 buckets. Okay. Now tell me one thing. If I want to divide a number, for example, if there is a number n, I'm dividing that number by 9. What are the combination of remainders that we can expect?
Odd numbers.
I mean, what would be the value of remainder? Anyone?
16 by 9, sir.
I mean, by any number. Think any number. Okay.
0 or 1.
No, I mean, the values of remainders could be falling between 0 to 9. I'm sorry, 0 to 8. Yes or no? Any number, okay, it can be any big number, but the value of remainders can be fall in between 0 to 8, right? You agree with this?
Yes, sir.
0 to 8. Likewise, I have an hash code. Now here I have an hash code, right? This is my hash code, okay? I want to divide this hash code with such a number that my output has to be fall between 0 to 16. I mean 0 to 15, because that is how my indexing numbers are. It starts from 0, So which number I can choose? I should be choosing 15, right? Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
If I choose by 15, if I divide it by 15, if I perform the modular operation by 15, definitely my output is going to be in such a way that it would fall between 0 to 15. So what I am doing here is to get the bucket number, To get the bucket number, I am just doing bucket number equal to, okay, hash code, and I mean, and is a modular operation. Okay, it's going to give you the reminder. It is internal Java operation. So what I'm doing here, I'm saying 15 here. Okay, return type is integer. Okay, when I say system.out.println, if I just fetch the bucket number, it's going to give me a number, but the number would be in such a way that it would fall between 0 to 15. 3. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we have understood that how to, put the key into a particular index. We are not using we are generating the index by doing what? Firstly, we are converting the key to the hash code. We are getting the hash code. And what is an hash code? Hash code is nothing but it is a method. It is going to give you the unique number. It's going to give a random number. That random number is going to be completely unique with respect to the value. You would understand? What if for Balaji also you get a unique number? Because that is how the hash code works. Okay, you got the unique number here. Okay, firstly, you have passed the key. This key is getting converted to a hash code. You got the unique number. Okay, but you cannot use that unique number as the index number. Why? Because the indexing starts from 0 and it ends 15. You have to find a way that this unique number is getting converted to a particular number which falls between 0 to 15. So you perform the modular operation. After performing the modular operation, you are going to get a unique index number, but this index number is going to fall between 0 to 15. Okay, what number you got? You got 3 for USA. You got what? You got 3 for USA. Okay, so on the third bucket, what is the third bucket? 0, 1, 2, 0, and this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Okay, the data will be stored, but how the data will be stored is, okay, there is a concept of node. Is representing key value. Okay. Key is what? USA. Value is what? For USA, the capital is Washington DC. Okay. Hash code. Okay. And node next equal to. Okay. Why we are calling the bucket number is because when you say bucket is nothing but the group of variables, What kind of variables that is representing? Okay, those group of variables are nothing but it is going to store the data, unique data of the particular key, particular HashMap key. So you're dealing with USA. Okay, for USA, this bucket is going to store the value also, and also the hash code that is being generated will be assigned here. Hash code that is generated is getting assigned here. Right? And the next thing is something like the node. Node is nothing but for now just think like it is a kind of address. Okay, it will be initially assigned to null. This information, this all set of information will be stored inside where? This will be stored inside the index number 3. You would understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are trying to understand the initial mechanism, which is what the hashing mechanism. How HashMap works internally? The question is very simple. Answer is internally HashMap uses hashing mechanism. What is the hashing mechanism? Okay. Every key will get converted to an hash code. Okay, and this hash code will get a modular operation. Okay, and this modular operation is going to generate a unique index number that falls between the size of the HashMap. Okay, for now, for the USA it is 3. Likewise, for every key, what is the second key that we have? You have the let me comment this. Second key is what? India. Okay, so the key will be converted to hash code because hashing mechanism, right? And this hash code needs to generate an index number. It has to go through the modular operation so that the bucket number will be generated. Okay, for India, what is the no, this is the hash code and this is the bucket number. Okay? What happens behind the scenes? Okay? Again, for the country India, now this time India, right? Let me create that again. Now, one minute, please. One minute. This is stuck. System is stuck. Okay, okay, okay. So you have the node key value. Next key is what? Next key is India. And the value is what? Value is New Delhi. Okay, and it will also store the hash code. And you have the node. It's a memory address which is going to point to the location null for the time being. Okay, so you got an hash code, right? For this, you got an hash code like 70793495. Okay, and it has got a index number which is what? Which is 7. Okay, so this data will be stored inside the 7th index. This will be stored inside where? Inside the 7th position. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here. Able to follow till now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, now what happens? See, now what happens? There are some cases, okay? Let me say, let me uncomment this. For Russia, let's try to find the hash code for Russia. Okay, let us say what Russia is going to do. Okay, for Russia, the hash code is something like this. Let us do the same thing for Russia also. We need to understand about the collusion, hash collusion. Let me say for Russia, you have the hash code, particular hash code is this one. Right? And this information will be stored in which index number? The index number is already generated, right? So it is 11th index. So this piece of information will be stored in the 11th index. 11th index means 11th bucket. This one. Yeah. Okay. Let us say that these details are getting stored in this index. Yeah. Let us do the same thing for the country Egypt. Okay, now are you able to see the problem now? See, for Russia also the index number is 11. For Egypt also the index number is 11. So there will be a case where you will get to see that the same bucket number will be assigned to different case. This is such scenario, right? For Egypt also it is happened to be giving the same index number, and for Russia also it is giving the same index number, but the hash code is different. So this concept is called as what? What is this concept? This concept is called as the hashing collision. What is hash collision? Okay, collision is nothing but if two keys map to same index, collision occurs. Okay, how these collisions are handled means internally this hash map data structure, okay, the hash map data structure will create a linked list. So what happens? Okay, even the Russia is getting the same but index number 7. Now the Egypt is also getting the same index number 7. Okay, so the key is value is what 0. Okay, of course they differ. Okay, how you can differentiate between the these two countries, two keys? Okay, the differentiation can be done by using the hash code. Hash code is different. Okay? But the problem comes, both the hash codes are getting mapped to the same bucket number, right? So no next equal to null. So what happens here is, okay, this is also getting 7 and this is also getting 7. This is also getting 7, this is also getting 7. So a linked list will be created between these two. A linked list will be created between these two. Okay, and this null node now it will be referring to the next node. This will not be null anymore. This will be referring to the next node because it has an address. Okay, it has a node address that is that has occurred because of the hash collision. Internally it is linked list mechanism, single linked list mechanism. Okay, it is just like when another key gets the same index number, right? So this node will be pointing to the next node. That's the address of the next node, right? So a linked list pattern will be created, okay, and both will be storing in the same bucket number, but in the form of linked list pattern. Okay, here you have Russia. Okay, another node will be created. This node is meant for Egypt. Okay, and a linked list is created between these two. So this concept that I am talking about, this concept is called as what? Hash collision. In the interview, they will ask you what is an hash collision. The answer is pretty straightforward. We should say if two key map, if two keys map to the same index, collision occurs. HashMap handles collision by using linked list till before Java 8, and after Java 8, it is going to use the combination of linked list plus red black. I will tell you what is this red black tree. Okay, have you understood the concept so far?
Yes.
Okay, so what we have understood so far we have discussed about two main things. Okay, you have to remember two main things. One is the hashing mechanism we have discussed. Okay, hashing mechanism, very very important. Okay, internally HashMap, the first answer should be HashMap uses the hashing mechanism. What is hashing mechanism? Okay, every key will be converted to an hash code, then modular operation, and it gets an index number, right? And what is the second thing that we have discussed, right? Discussed about the hash collision. What is an hash collision? When two keys gets mapped to the same index number, then hash collision occurs. How this will handled internally by HashMap? Internally, it will create a linked list pattern. Okay, so far good. Okay, now look at, they will ask you a counter question like, what happens if you add another duplicate country, or any other duplicate country, CON country stop put. Okay, let me say I'm adding India once again. Okay, I just want to add India once again. Then comma. Okay, this time, okay, I just want to ensure that there are no spaces. Here there is a space between New and Delhi. Now I would say New Delhi. Now what happens? Okay, don't you think that again it is going to go through the same process? Yes or no? Do you agree with that? Again, India will be converted to hash code and it is
Yes,
going to get
sir.
the unique bucket number. It will be same forever, no? Because you're using the same hash code, you're going to get the same bucket number 7, right? It will check the bucket number 7. Directly check the bucket number 7. Okay. But in the bucket number 7, there is already a key India. There is already value New Delhi. What I mean the key is matching. India is already there. Then what it will do? It will check if the hash codes are matching. You have the same hash codes now. Hello? This hash code is same as the already existing hash code in the memory, right? Hash codes are matching. In such case, what happens? Okay, so in this case, the hash codes are not matching. In the collision, hash codes are not matching. Please understand. In the collision, in the hash collision, the hash codes are not matching. Hello? Are you able to recognize this? In the hash collision, hash codes are not matching. Only it is generating the same bucket numbers. But here, because of the duplication, the hash codes are same. Hash codes are same for the unique keys. No? What happens? It is going to
Yes, sir.
replace the value. Okay, New Delhi, which has a space before, will be replaced with New Delhi, no, without spaces. So what you can see in the interview room, what happens when you add the duplicate key? What should be the answer? When I add the duplicate key, the existing value will be replaced with the new value. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You're not doing anything. India is same as India here. Okay, but the existing this New Delhi will be replaced with this New Delhi. Tomorrow, if you had NCR, for example, tomorrow if you have not NCR, not central region, what happens? Again for India, hash code is same. You're going to get the same bucket number, yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Again, it will try to find the okay on the bucket number 7. Let's see, is there a country India? Of course, there is such country India here. Okay. Let us check the hash code. Hash code is same. The hash code is same. This will also be replaced by the new one. So every time, okay, for every unique key, when you add another unique key, when you add a duplicate key, the value is going to get affected. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
What are the 3 points you have discussed now? First is how HashMap panel it uses hashing mechanism. Second one is what is hash collusion. Third one is what happens when you add duplicate. The fourth question would be like, right? Everything is fine. What happens? When you add a null value. Now tell me one thing: null key is allowed or not?
No, sir. Null value, sir.
Are you sure? We will check this, huh?
Tree map, I think, not.
Yeah, HashMap one null key is allowed. It is not complaining anything for null key is allowed. If I find the hash code for null, okay, let me try to find the for hash code for null is always 0. For null key, the bucket number will always be 0 case. Okay? You can say that the fixed bucket number for the null, I mean I'm talking about the key, is always 0. Right? You can add one null key and you can add any value. Let us say the value is what something. Right? So this is going to get a bucket number which is 0 always. Okay, for the 0, you will have the same thing. Okay, the key value and it is going to store something. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the additional point that you have discussed from the beginning? Same thing. You know what is hashing mechanism. You know what is hash collision. You know what happens when you add duplicates, replacement, and you can add null values. What happens when you add null value? It is going to get the fixed bucket number, which is what? Which is 0. Right? Now let us try to understand the get operation. Okay, we have added things so far. It is completely fine. Let us try to understand the get operation. Okay, let me say system.out.println. Okay, I want to get a value for a particular key. I want to get a value. What is the method to get a value? You can use countries is the reference variable dot get. You can pass the object, right? Object key. Right? For example, when I pass the object key as USA, right? Okay, we understood how the put operation behaves. How the put operation behaves when you add an element using put method, key will be converted into the I mean it will go through the hashing mechanism and bucket number, and it is going to get stored in the particular bucket. What happens when you do the get operation? When you do the get operation, okay, let me run this. You will be getting the equivalent value, Washington DC. WDC is the equivalent value, right? What happens when? Again, even for the get operation also, the hashing mechanism will be followed. Internally, this key will be going through the hashing mechanism, the same mechanism that we have been discussing. Key will be going through this hashing mechanism, key hash code model operation, okay, and it is going to get the index number. Okay, index number will be same always. Okay, the index number that gets generated for the country USA during the put operation will be the same for the get operation also. The hash code that is getting generated for the country USA for the key during put operation will be same for what? Will be same for the get operation. Do you think this will change?
No, sir.
This will not, because it is fixed method you are using, fixed modular operations formula you are using. It is going to be same, right? So when I say get USA, right, it will try to generate hash code first. Hash code as a value, no? What is the value that we have for USA? Let me get it. You do not have to do all these things, okay? This is for our understanding. This is how internally it will work. So internally it will find the hash code for USA, right? It will directly jump to the bucket number 3 and it will check is there an hash code with 84323. Why it will check for hash code once again means because there may be some collisions there, so to avoid that, right? So it will jump to the bucket number 3. Is a bucket number 3, right? And it will check. It will check for the key USA. It is there already. Okay, it will return the equivalent value, which is what Washington DC. Again, the same process happenings for the get operation as well as for the put operation. Okay, let us understand this for Egypt. What happens for Egypt? Okay, for the Egypt, the same thing. Okay, let me do it for Egypt, because Russia and Egypt, they are getting the kind of same bucket number, isn't it? Okay, so it will check for directly jump to bucket number 11, right? So 11 is there, 11 is there, but in the 11 the index, it has the key Russia, right? And it will get the next node, and it will jump to the next node, which is what? Which is this one. Is this one, and it will check for the key. Is there a key like Egypt? Okay, if there it has found the key like Egypt, it is going to return the value. Right? Sometimes what happens? Okay, in the worst case, you keep getting the same bucket number. Let us say that unfortunately you are designing such a way that every key is getting getting the same bucket number, like 11. Okay, for another country it is also getting the same bucket number, so another linked list. Likewise, a linked list keep getting created until when? Until the size of the linked list becomes 8. Maximum, if the size of the linked list extends till the number 8, okay, the linked list gets created. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more. Okay, if this size gets violated, okay, if there is another country added that is also getting the same bucket number, this linked list, this is the single linked list, it will get converted to the red black tree. What is red black tree? You do not have to worry about this red black tree. This internal data structure, right? So from Java 8, okay, the size of the linked list is maximized to 8, and if any node is added, or if any key is added, and the linked list will be converted to red black tree. Why? Because the time complexity is improved from O of 1. Linked list is O of n. Okay, and if it gets converted to black tree, the time complexity becomes n log n. Right? This what the expression is. Right? The bucket has more than 8 nodes. It converts the let bracket to improve the lookup operation from O of n to O of log n. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Very simple, no? And don't worry about this red black tree. It is a kind of data structure, a kind of tree structure, right? So it will just reduce the lookup operation. So this is the internal thing. For now, it is not necessary for us. Right? The question again: how to do what? What is the question? This is the question, right? Our question is what? Okay. Internal working of HashMap. Now you are in a position to answer, right? What are the key points that you have to remember? Remember few things: hashing mechanism, hash solution. Then what after that? What is it? What happens when you have duplicates? What is the placeholder for the null key? Right? And what happens when the size of the unfortunately when the collision happens over and over again? What would be the size of the linked list? When the linked list will be exploded and converted to red black tree. This, if you explain like this is more than enough. Any questions?